Baba Is You is another really great example of taking a simple concept and twisting it into some ludicrously complicated challenges. But this was the celebrated puzzle game released last year that I have finally had a chance to get into. And what we have here is a game that, from the outside, looks insultingly simple to play, but quickly reveals some insane logic and challenges to it. So, the story of Baba Is You, well, is that you are Baba. And your mission in each level is to win. And it sounds simple enough in theory, until you realize that you are able to kind of literally hack the world based on the various properties in it. So in this level right here, you can see the various words, and they are kind of grouped into different styles. You have just the normal text, and then you have the square boxes. How it works is that the text and the square boxes can be combined using your various words there. And by doing that, we'll change the properties of those items connected. For instance, while wall is you right now, I could make that into flag is you. And by doing that, I become the flag and control that. In another case, if I'm controlling Baba, I could say Baba is win, and I automatically win because I'm controlling him. But the game introduces basically fail conditions into each level. In this one, as you can see, water is sink, which means, of course, if anything touches the water, it sinks and is destroyed. I can also lose by removing whatever character I'm controlling. Basically, the player needs to be controlling something in the world, or you lose because, well, you're not existing anymore in it. And this is just the small scale in terms of the challenges and how things can get just more and more insane in terms of what you're trying to do. And each level basically has two major obstacles that stand in your way. The first is figuring out how to achieve the goal or even change the goal to suit your needs. And the second is moving the various blocks around. You cannot pull objects by default, which means that you have to kind of go with how they can be pushed around with Baba, whatever character you're starting with. And one of the first kinds of complexities you're going to learn is being able to use the same word to do different things. And to kind of lightly spoil this puzzle here, what you need to do is use the same is, where Baba is you, and set up another conditional. And like I said, what we're showing right now is definitely spoiler related, but it is just the tip of the iceberg in terms of what this game is going to throw at you as you get further and further in. And to the game's credit, the progression model does a great job of keeping the player from feeling too overly frustrated at the game. Each one of the game's quote-unquote worlds will introduce a new word or a new mechanic that's going to change how you do things. For instance, a later level will introduce the idea of floating, wherein anything that's floating cannot touch or interact with something that's on the ground. This includes text, Baba, your win condition, and so on. And each world requires you to complete a set number of the puzzles in order to quote-unquote win, but if you really want to challenge yourself, you can do more of those levels and try to be a 100% completionist. And there's also bonus challenges that what they'll do is they'll take a level that you've already done and they will change something about the level to make it harder for you. And this is pretty much Baba Is You in a nutshell. And like I said, while this game doesn't look it, compared to more challenging games such as Space Chem, Shenzhen IO, Human Resource Machine, and so on, there is some mind-breaking stuff that goes on in Baba Is You. and it only gets harder from there. With that said, we're going to do our quick Patreon supporter and sponsor shoutout break now, and when we come back, we're going to talk about how, despite how innovative Baba Is You is, that was also not grammatically easy to say, it does still have some of the issues that we've seen from other challenging puzzle games. And now a quick shout out to our current Game Wisdom supporters and sponsors. All Patreon supporters will now get early access to our videos, and if you'd like to continue this discussion on game design, be sure to check out our Discord channel, linked down below. If you're looking for more wisdom about game design, be sure to check out my latest offering of books, 20 Essential Games to Study, aimed for first-time developers and students looking for some inspiration for their upcoming games, and Game Design Deep Dive Platformers if you're interested in anything regarding 2D and 3D platforming design. They're both available in print, digital, and wherever books are being sold. Baba Is You embodies the very best of that kind of hidden dynamic behavior that we see from some of the great examples of puzzle games from the indie space, and how the game basically puts it to the player to figure out the complexities and rules, and then begin to extrapolate new ways or challenges to make use of that. But with that said, it is still very much like the hardest games as we've talked about, and that means that the market is still limited. This can be a frustrating game to play despite the very simplistic and cute graphics. And just like a Space Chem or a TIS 100, once you do run into that brick wall, whether it is on an easier puzzle or one of the harder ones, it can become very demotivating to keep playing this game. And it can also be frustrating trying to learn the rules. There are no tutorials or hints or anything like that. And the general MO of learning Baba Is You is essentially saying, okay, here's a combination of words. What happens if I do this? What happens if I do that? And then how do I take that learning and apply it to something else? It's very much like Space Chem in that regard, that each new puzzle basically will subtly teach you a new technique or new way of manipulating the rules at play, and it's up to you to then take that information and run with it. If you don't learn it, there's not much hope for you to continue playing the game, or at least continue playing that level, because it all builds off of each other. And it can be a bit frustrating to solve a puzzle, not because you figure it out, because you just kept playing around with things and you're not quite sure why this specific option works compared to one of your other ones that you tried. And just remember that despite the fact that you do have this freedom of manipulating the world, each puzzle solution is essentially handmade or hard-coded, because the game wants you to do something specific to solve that puzzle. It all depends on how long it takes you to get to that point. And I can see this game turning off some people because of its difficulty, or just the frustration of trying to move these places or move the pieces around. And the rewind feature will definitely be your friend in that regard. With that said, Baba Is You is still an amazing puzzle game, and if you're looking for something that's both challenging and going to really test your own critical thinking skills, definitely pick this one up. If you are somebody who easily gets frustrated at puzzles, then keep very far away from this game. With that said, thanks for watching this review. Be sure to come back for daily discussions on game design here and on Game Wisdom, where some of the art and science of games. If you'd like me to tickle your own game, whether it's a Zachtronics-like, Baba Is You-like, or any other combination of grammatical nightmares, gamers. Be sure to get in touch and come back for more here on the Game Wisdom channel. Until next time, take care. Thanks for watching the video. If you enjoy things, be sure to do all the liking and subscribing that the kids are doing these days. Check out our Discord channel link down below where we hang out and chat game design, and come back later tonight for our regular streamings. But that's it, and tune in for more great content here and on Game Wisdom, where we examine the art and science of games.